Welcome back, guys. In this tutorial, we're gonna cover how we can process the Apache NiFi application logs. I get asked a lot, what are the ways that I monitor my NiFi installations, or what do I recommend to do so? And there's multiple. In this example, we're gonna see how we can easily parse the NiFi application logs. Well, if you're new to NiFi and you don't know that NiFi has multiple types of log, the NiFi application logs contains obviously the application logs, which include information about the state of the system, events, error that occur during your NiFi flow operation. It is used normally to troubleshoot problems that occur within your NiFi application, and it's located under the log directory in your NiFi installation. So if you navigate to wherever you have the installation, if you see in my case, I have it under opt NiFi and the version .logs, and this is the log that we are going to monitor. So if I were to do a tail.f on my NiFi app, this is how it looks basically, and it's constantly getting appended to. So you see, you get a timestamp, you get the log level, some information, the class that was invoked, and then the message. Now let's go and see how we can automatically do that through NiFi. All right, so on my main canvas here, I have a tail file. Basically, this is a NiFi processor that allows us to tail a file, basically the same command that you saw previously. Point it to the file, obviously it's on my local host, and I tell him that the tail mode is a single file. I tell him to start from the initial start position. This one comes with multiple options. It can come from beginning of time, and if you hover over the question mark, he'll give more information. Start with the oldest data that matches the rolling file name pattern. I wouldn't do that if I were you. I would just keep it with the current time. Beginning of the file, basically we'll use the beginning of the file to tail, or current time, you will use the timestamp that you currently are, or start the processor. Let's cancel. The state is going to be local. We're not going to do a recursive lookup, and the rest stays the same. The next step, I have a convert record, and this is where the magic sits. We're going to use a Grok reader for this example, and we're going to expose it into a JSON format using the JSON record set writer. Let's go and see the Grok reader configuration. Basically, the Grok reader, we use the schema access strategy, use string fields from Grok expression, and then we have the Grok expression itself. Let me open it up so you guys can see. So you can see here, it identifies the timestamp as the first grouping of character, the log level, the data itself, and the gray data, the message. So this is going to be our Grok expression. You don't have to worry about it. You don't have to paste the script or the video to copy and paste this into your flow. I'll put the template into the video description, and you can download for our GitHub repository as well. All right, so this is already enabled, and then the JSON record set writer, there's nothing to do here. We just leave it as it is. So we tell him that you're going to inherit the schema from the incoming payload, and you do it as it is. And one thing that we do here, I'm not keeping an array, so I'm telling him that the output grouping is going to be one line per object. You can also change this and have it as an array if you want. But for me, I don't want to do that. So going back to our flow, the next step, what I want to do just for demonstration purposes, I'm going to filter out the records that are coming, and I'm going to use a query record with multiple outcomes. We're going to look for debug errors, we're going to messages, we're going to look for error messages, info, none, and this is in case doesn't fit in any of our criteria, which most likely not, because those are the only options that we get from the logs, and warn. Basically, we're using calcite SQL lingo, where we're going to say select everything from my flow file where level equals debug. And keep in mind that he's using the outcome of the record writer to apply the SQL on top. So he needs to know a schema. That's why we've chosen to use it as a JSON. So with no further ado, let's start this processor. So let's start the tail file, and we can see we're already getting data in. By the way, I set this one to run every second so we can get some real data in. Let's do the transformation. Let's evaluate the content, and let's look at it. So let's look at the small one. Basically, you can see it gives us line by line of JSON payload, and he parses it in this format. We get a timestamp, we get a label, look at the thread message, and then the full stack trace, and then the raw message. You can do whatever you want with this payload. You can send it to, I don't know, a backend database, to Elasticsearch, or you can, I don't know, evaluate it in NiFi itself. Now, let's spread across query record with the query record, and let's spread across the level type. So you can see by now we only have info, obviously, right? No warn, no errors, and no debug. To validate that this thing works, let's go ahead and create an error. So what I have here, I have a generated flow file and a split JSON. Basically, I'm going to allow the split JSON to fail. We're going to split on an inexisting JSON path. So let's create one and start the JSON. We can see we get an error, and automatically we got an error message. This is really easy. You can pretty much hook it up to a put Slack notification, and this error message will be, let's say, sent there. Obviously, you might need to do some extra parsing, because when you're going to get the message, you want to put it to the particular component. Another easy way to do it is just copying the component ID, going back to my UI, paste it into the search box, and this is going to take me directly to that component. And voila. All right, I hope you guys enjoyed this story. This is one way that you can ease up your work when you have multiple flows and you're gonna get lost in the monitoring, and you want to get access, immediate access to whenever an error happens. I'll drop the template in the description, and I'm waiting for you guys' feedback. So if you guys enjoyed this tutorial, give it a thumbs up, consider subscribing, and also if you have questions and you want to learn more about NiFi, or you're already working with NiFi and you want to expand your knowledge, feel free to join our Discord channel where we have a bunch of NiFi developers sharing their information or asking for help or giving help. All right, see you guys in the next tutorial.